following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network and welcome to my review show here of NXT Halloween Havoc, brother, from October 22nd, 2022 from the Performance Center there in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Karlifornia. Great to be with you all once again. And I'm sorry this is a few days late, but yesterday I had to watch like a 4-hour XPW Halloween in Hell pay-per-view. So, I only have enough time to do certain things in a day. I mean, I remember earlier this year when I reviewed, the 2 days of WrestleMania, but I also reviewed the NXT special Stand and Deliver as well. So I had to do like WrestleMania, record the review, then watch NXT, then record that review. So, it's a lot of hard work to get all that done in one day because look, you got to think about it like this, right? I have to watch the whole pay-per-view. I write my notes whilst I'm watching it. Then I have to record the review. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour. Then I have to wait for that to export from my Zoom call. Then I have to edit it, put it together, export it from the program. That can take 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. Then you got to upload it. And then you got to do all the YouTube stuff. You got to go on Twitter and put it out there and try and promote it and all that. So like every time I do a review, that can take 5 to 6 hours of time. So that's why this is a few days late, because I just can't do 2 in 1 day anymore. Not with the way my life is right now. Anyway, enough about me and my boring life. Let's talk about NXT Halloween Havoc. I think one of the first shows we might have done a review for these specials for NXT was probably Halloween Havoc last year. So I guess it's kind of the 1 year anniversary. And of course, Jooseyboy is not with me for this review. I don't know. He'll probably be back for the next WWE one. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Good package to open the show. I like it. But this is the first time now I'm watching NXT without my homeboy, Wade Barrett, on commentary, which is okay. It's not the end of the world because I think Booker T did a good job on the show. But I have to admit, I really did like the duo of Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph on NXT. I thought that those two really had great chemistry. So we'll see how this duo goes going forward. So we open the show with shit. Why did I write his name down? The Diva guy. Have I got it written down later? Quincy Elliott? Yeah. Quincy Elliott and my babe Shotzi. And damn, did she look good as the Joker. Whew. Mamma mia. Okay. So they're the hosts of the show. They have these hosts, but the hosts don't really do anything to affect the show. They're just there for a couple of segments. It is what it is. But anyway, let's crack on with the first matchup of Halloween Havoc. The NXT North American Championship on the line. Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams defending the championship against Nathan Frazer, who I've seen once. Wes Lee, who used to be in that tag team. Now I guess he's on his own. Oro Mensah. Never seen him before. Maybe I have. I can't remember. But and Von Wagner, of course. But this is what happens when you don't watch NXT every week, because so much happens and changes from month to month with NXT, with people getting called up, people debuting on the show. So, and these specials might be 6 to 8 weeks apart from one another. So I guess that's a fault of my own. Nothing against him, but I had never heard of Oro Mensah. Anyway, so we got another bloody multi-man ladder match. You all know how I feel about them. It gets a little long in the tooth when you sell, because they did one at Stand and Deliver earlier this year. They already did one in NXT earlier this year. And there was also a women's one earlier this year as well. And not only that, but WWE have done it, AEW have done it. You get a little over it sometimes. The same thing over and over. You know what I'm talking about. Those same spots, the same style of match where someone climbs one rung and then tries to reach up you're not going to reach it from the bottom rung. You know, you get over it after 20 years of watching wrestling. But anyway, there are a dime a dozen these days. But I have to say, these guys did, you know, as usual, you know, they've really put the fucking work in here. Nathan Frazer, obviously impressing early, and Booker T. I have to give him props. A lot of fire and commentary there. I like that they bring in these guys for the color commentary spot. You know, I like the ex-pro wrestler being the color commentator, a la, you know, Jesse the Body Ventura, and things of that nature. Anyway, I wrote down these guys are doing impressive things, but gee, it means nothing to me. It's again just burned out on multi-man ladder matches. I just doesn't really do it for me anymore. Obviously in the beginning it was great, you know, with the TLC matches and all that stuff when they first started doing them. But geez, well, you know, 20 years of every year, there's going to be multiple ladder matches with multiple people in it throughout the year. By the end of the year, you're just like, man, like I'm over it. Mensah nearly died falling off the ladder. and Robert Stone had climbed the ladder to try and retrieve it, battling with Trick Williams at the top of the ladder, and then he ended up getting pushed off. He was supposed to pole himself on the top rope, but missed it. Well, he hit it, but it was so ferocious. There was no way he was going to stay on that top rope, and he ate fucking shit on the outside. Brilliant. Good, and I'm a big fan of Robert Stone, aka Robbie E from Impact Wrestling. A lot of people aren't actually aware that that's the same person because he looks a lot different these days. This wasn't bad. And again, we got a ladder match at Standard Deliver. So, you know, I've just, you know, I'll drill that into the ground just like multi-man ladder matches has been drilled into the ground for me. A lot of specky spots, but what does it mean? I don't know. I go into these with a bad attitude, so that's why my notes are like this. Von Wagner kills Wes Lee with a press to the outside through the announce table. I wrote that should be a stretcher job. It was impressive, but come on, man. I get it. Wrestling's evolving or whatever, but it gets to a point now where, again, I've said this before, does someone need to pull out a gun to get a pinfall on someone? What does someone need to do to be taken out of a match? Because Von Wagner was placed on that ladder. Nathan Frazer did a splash off the top rope to the outside, and they snapped that ladder in half. I remember that took Edge out of a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania many years ago. So things of this nature, I just feel like should take someone out. So maybe Wesley shouldn't be the one to take that spot. Maybe just looking at the names again because I can't remember who anyone is. Maybe Ora Mensah should have taken that spot because he wasn't going to win. Wesley, you know, he was going to win the match. So I don't know. I just think, again, when something like this happens, it should take them out for the whole match. You know, people aren't superheroes. Anyway, everything has been very clean and tight in the match. So there was nothing really wrong. There was no botches or anything. I did like the spot with Wes stopping Carmelo from winning. But in the end, Wes Lee wins. I guess they've been giving him a bit of a push on TV. I haven't seen any of it. You know, the last thing I really remember of him was, you know, he was in that tag team where his partner got unfairly kicked off the roster because of a picture where he dressed up as Hitler like 20 years ago or whatever. Like, who cares? Like, I know it's stupid, but like, people just let people be allowed to do stupid things in their past and realize that like 10 years after the fact that maybe they realized that what they did was stupid. Because back in those days, you didn't think that anything like that was going to bother anyone. It's stupid, I know, but whatever. There's a casket match coming up. Looking forward to that. Coming up next, though, Alba Fyre with a promo. And I don't know if you're all aware out there, but Alba Fyre's from fucking Scotland. She used to be known as Kaylee fucking Ray. She's from fucking Scotland. And backstage, a toxic attraction. Yeah, bro. I am a hot-blooded male. And if Gigi Dolan is on my screen, I will be very interested. She has such nice eyes. I don't know if any of you have noticed that out there, but man, Gigi Dolan has some hot eyes on her. So large and in charge, bro. Anyway, so here comes this last year. There was a Halloween thing last year, you know, one of these like what do they call it? Cinematic things. So here it comes. This will be hokey like last year. Let's see what happens. And Toxic Attraction are going to enter this kind of haunted house to go after Alba Fyre. This is WWE after all. What do you all expect at this point? You know what the company's like. You know that they do these things. Yeah, I still see people on Twitter saying, "Oh, that's so lame." It's like, okay, like, didn't Jericho and Orange Cassidy have a Mimosa Mayhem match? Like, that's okay though. And the Stadium Stampede's okay, but this, no, you make fun of this. Come on, hypocrites. I thought JC Jane did a good job as the scaredy cat. I liked that Gigi was not scared and she was really into it. JC gets laid out, and then Gigi says to Chucky, "Want to play?" And I said, Gigi, Gigi, I want to play. I want to play. I'll play. Whatever it is that you want to play, I'll play with you. Hopefully it's something sexy. Something wrong with me. So Gigi and JC get killed. Apparently, Gigi gets, I don't know, stuffed into this fridge, and you would imagine that she's getting killed. So it's just hokey, but I thought it was cool, man. And then Mandy Rose got assaulted with a baseball bat. Did she? Or I don't know. Someone got assaulted with a baseball bat. I watched half of this last night and the rest today. Okay, give me a break. And I'm just like, arrest her. This is not inside the wrestling. This is not inside the building. You know, it's not in the confines of a wrestling show. This is outside the building. She should be arrested. It's taking it way too seriously. Coming up next, though, the casket match. Apollo Crews, one of the most boring performers I've ever had the pleasure or displeasure of watching. And I think he's a great wrestler. But on the microphone, potato soup. I liked that character he had before. We embraced his African heritage and all that, and talked in more of like that African accent. I thought it made him interesting. And now he's just back to being Apollo Crews, the wrestler. Boring. He's against Grayson Waller, who is very entertaining, very charismatic, and hopefully Grayson pulls something out of Apollo here. I'm not trying to pick on Apollo too much because he is a fantastic athlete, but I need a little bit more, bro. So there's a hot start, clearly a heated feud. And I'm just like, can Apollo be interesting in this scenario? I also thought, how has Grayson Waller not won a title yet? He's done such a great job in NXT over the last year and a bit. I just think by this point, this guy should have at least become North American champion. That's why it surprises me that someone like Wes Lee become the North American champion. I would have thought someone like Grayson Waller, who's been in the singles division and had these great feuds over the last year, at some point, this guy should win a belt. And I don't understand why he doesn't have his hide muscle with him anymore. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, because it's been a few months, but that dude, he did nothing wrong. He should still be his hide muscle. Anyway, I love the spot on the announce table with Vic Joseph's pen. So obviously the story going in was that Grayson Waller had damaged Apollo Crews' eye, and he stabbed him again in the eye, this time with Vic Joseph's pen. And I did pop for Vic Joseph asking Booker T if he could borrow his pen after that, and Booker said no. Crews went through the casket. The lights go out. Booker T's like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, yeah, what the hell is going on? Oh, they're bringing another casket out. It was a good little spot, I have to say. Followed up with a bit some more hectic shit. I mean, Grayson Waller took this fall-away slam on the outside that looked stiff, and then there was a moonsault off the stairs by Apollo Crews. Eventually, we're getting towards the end here, and there was some really good suspense built between the two. So the match was laid out very well, I would say. Whoever agented it, probably someone like HBK, you know, I'm sure, you know, that they've done a good job here. They were both in the casket. There's all this crap that Grayson Waller does with his stupid roly-polies, roly-poly onto the ring apron, roly-poly into the ring, to a stunner. I hate the roly-poly. Stop it, Grayson. Eventually, Crews gets the win, lays him out, and I guess he's headed up the card a little bit now. And I'm sure it won't be long until Cruz clashes with Bron Breaker or something like that. Anyway, moving forward, Andre Chase University. Duke Hudson has become a student in Chase University, and his number one student, I don't have his name written down, I'm sorry. He's jealous because Duke is, clearly a smart guy, and got the question correct when Andre had asked who the outsiders beaten for the WCW tag titles at Halloween Havoc 96 or whatever it was. So I thought that was great stuff, and I'd be interested to see how that goes going forward. But again, I don't have time to watch the weekly show, so I probably will miss out on what happens. Backstage, Hottie Toddy, Mackenzie Mitchell with Pretty Deadly, who I'm not a fan of him. I don't know why. Maybe I don't like the gimmick. And I don't know. I just made that decision about them a while back that you got to show me something else because I'm not entertained by whatever this gimmick is. And they get interrupted because that's what everyone does. That's what happens in all of these segments. And I've said it a million times on these reviews all year. All you wrestling companies, all you seem to do is create instances backstage where people just get interrupted as soon as they're 15 seconds into an interview. Like, you would think that if this were real, that maybe it would be a rule. Like, hey, this person's getting interview time. If you interrupt them, then, that's not very professional because we're shooting a live show here. But hey, this is a cookie cutter thing that every wrestling company does. WWE, NXT. I'm sure I've seen Impact do it. AEW were real bad with that for a while there. We have to think of other scenarios here, people. Please think a little bit longer about what you want to do when you want to have two teams, which I'm sure it was the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions interrupting. There's got to be another scenario in which they can have that face off. Whatever. It was just they just did it to get them on the show. Cora Jade taking on Roxanne Perez, or is it Roxana Perez? I'm just going to say Roxy Perez in a weapons wild match. Essentially a hardcore match where the weapons are just placed around the ring, whatever. Man, NXT does feel a little sanitized sometimes, a little too squeaky clean, I have to be honest with you. But these two, hey, I have to give Cora Jade a fucking heap of praise here because I think she's doing so great as an unlikable heel. People could start kind of see Cora Jade being like the next Bailey when she had her old gimmick and, she's for the little girls and all that stuff. And you couldn't maybe imagine someone like Cora Jade being a heel, just like people could imagine Bailey being a heel, and now look at her. So I am very impressed with her, and especially with the aggression that she is showing as she wrestles, because she's not a big lady, she's tiny. So that aggression makes her look bigger. And I'm going to give someone else props to that later on in this review. Roxy inside the trash can to the outside as Cora shoved her with her feet, and she's inside a trash can, and the trash can landed where Roxy's head was. That was fucking sick. I thought Big Joseph, again, great call on this match. A great white Russian leg sweep from Roxy. And then, this match kept building with the heat. They got up to that platform, and the suspense was building. Cora Jade removed that barricade, and they took this big bump off that platform through a table. And I was like, well done, ladies. That was pretty fucking cool. Soon after this, a bit of back and forth, but Roxy Perez ends up hitting that pop rocks, which is, the code red, onto a pile of chairs. It was over. Great finish. And I liked that last bit of drama between the two of them where Cora said that you were never my best friend. And then Roxy said, yeah, well, you were my best friend. So that was, that was great for the comeuppance there for the baby face. Yay. Let's all be happy. Dragunov backstage doing warm-ups. At least the warm-ups look realistic instead of someone like 2 hours before their match just standing there going, no one does that when they're warming up. At least Dragunov's warm-ups looked realistic. Maybe they're listening to me. I hate that. They're just jogging on the spot. Why would anyone do that? Anyway, Shotzi comes back out dressed differently than before. And I just wrote, fuck. I'm really attracted to her. Then Quincy comes out, not attracted to him. He's got a big pair of tits, though. Lash Legend interrupts, and I'm like, oh, I got nothing against her, to be honest with you, but I'm just like, whatever. Like, here we go. Something's going to happen, and the hosts are going to get one over. And what happens? Shotzi lays out Lash Legend. That's okay. But man, Shotzi, it's got a cute little butt, man. What's wrong with me, man? Come on, get it together, Carl. Next up, ambulance match. Damon Kemp from the Diamond Mine. I don't know where Roderick Strong is. I don't know if he's left the company now. I probably need to do a little bit more research on this whole thing. But I would have thought Roderick Strong would have been like the main part of this story with the Creed brothers. But they're giving Damon Kemp this spot here. Maybe Roderick will come in afterward. Julius needs to win this match for his brother's job and career to be saved. So I've got to give NXT props here. Just like the last WWE pay-per-view, every match for the most part had a very serious issue going in with stakes on a lot of these matches. So, you know, the very hot start with Julius Creed off the top rope, drop kicking that chair into Damon Kemp's face. This is just after distracting him by throwing those pumpkins at him. So I thought that was creative. They immediately brawl to that ambulance, and you know, that they go back to it a couple of times. There was a great spot with Creed booting the back door into Kemp's face. That looked real vicious. Wheelchair into the stairs. Damon Kemp was too tall for that wheelchair. I'm sorry. You know, he was his feet were touching the ground, and Julius could not push that wheelchair quick enough. Anyway, I could feel Julius Creed's anger. So he sold his situation in this match very well. But sometimes I feel like, man, it hurts my investment in the matches by not watching the weekly TV. But I'm sorry. I don't know how anyone has the time to watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, NXT, Impact Wrestling, whatever else there is that you like. I don't know how any of you all have the time. If you do have the time and have been able to do it frequently for quite some time, in the comments, tell me all about it. I'd like to know how you fit all that in, and if you do or do not have a wife or girlfriend. Anyway, the spot with Creed sacrificing his hands in the door of the ambulance as he's getting it slammed into by Damon Kemp. I thought that was great storytelling, because he's so desperate to save his brother's career that he will risk having his hand broken. Really cool. But yeah, he fought out of that, threw Kemp on a table, hit this running elbow onto the table, putting him through it. I thought that was cool. The ante was being upped, ladies and gentlemen. Powerbomb onto the stretcher, clothesline into the chair, into Damon Kemp's face. Then Kemp gets dragged to the ambulance, thrown in. Creed wins. Another baby face goes over. That's 4 now. Not a problem, but still. Alba Fyre returns to the building with Mandy in the parking lot. And they're going to be brawling into the building, and they're going to brawl to the ring. And then that's going to lead to the beginning of this match. Alba Fyre, Mandy Rose, NXT Women's Championship. I thought it was an interesting way to start the match off. And again, props to Vic Joseph and Booker T. They've done well, and I think they've already found some chemistry together. Some great physicality early on in the match. Mandy is hot. People, I have to be honest with you, man. I've seen these comments on Twitter. Oh, people are sleeping on Mandy Rose right now, man. A year-long title reign in NXT. Every title match has been good. She's improved an incredible amount. You can see even her body's changed a little bit. She was already in great shape, but now she's even better shape. And she's having these great matches. She's taking these great bumps. She's utilizing all these great maneuvers. That's what you wrestling fans want to see. You want to see cool moves. She hits them. She does everything that Britt Baker can do. Yet you suck Britt Baker's hole and you hate on Mandy Rose. Why? Why is that? Is it because Mandy Rose came in as like just one of the typical pretty girls and you don't like pretty girls? Do you not like pretty girls? Is there something wrong with you? Because I feel like that a lot of the time wrestling fans dislike female wrestlers if they're too good looking, if they're too pretty. I don't know what it is. You know, if they're sexy and they have sex appeal for some reason, some fans like, no, I don't want to see that. You know, these pretty models shouldn't be in our business. Shut up, man. She's killing it, bro. I don't care. It's unbelievable, some of these fans sometimes. Anyway, I've skipped past some of my notes here. Toxic Attraction get involved at the perfect time. Great suspense, pulling the referee out, and they end up screwing Alba Fyre over. Mandy hits the Kissed by a Rose to get the victory and retain the title. Kissed by a Rose for the finish. I'll take a kiss from Mandy Rose any day of the week. Thank you. If they don't eventually take this full act of Toxic Attraction up to the main roster and have Mandy used there like she has been in NXT, that's a mistake. I honestly, I would have Mandy Rose beat Bianca Belair for the title. What of it? I don't give a shit. I would. And I'd have Toxic Attraction be the #1 female group in WWE on that main roster. Maybe even add another member. I don't know. But I think that they're a great act. And NXT in 2022, it's been about my homegirls right there. Backstage, Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark, right? With an interview backstage. I wrote, please don't interrupt them. Please don't interrupt them. Of course, they got interrupted. Inofi and Malik Blade came in to confirm with them about their tag title match at this week's TV and whatever it was. And I just said, who asked you to what you fucking think? No one cares, bro. No one cares, Malik, Inofi. No one cares. Had to get him on the show, I suppose, and hype this women's tag title match coming this week on NXT. And thank you, Mackenzie Mitchell, for throwing it back to the commentators at ringside instead of just standing there looking at the wrestlers as they walk off. Time now for the main event. Triple threat match. First pinfall to a finish. Bron Breakker, the champion, taking on Ilja Dragunov and Jade McDonagh from NXT UK. They're all together now. They're all together now in the regular NXT. I've never seen Ilja perform before, just letting you all know. Seen JD wrestle twice, I think. Good angle heading in. I like the package. But I'm not a fan of multi-man matches, but at least the story going into this makes sense, and it's not just a multi-man match for the fuck of it. Great theme song, Ilja. I like it. And then Bron Breakker makes his entrance and desecrates some gravestones to a pop. I thought that was funny. I prefer the ring announcer mentioning weight in hometown. I know this has been going on for some time now, but I just feel like introducing first JD like what? Come on, why can't we find out their hometown and their weight? What's the problem? Are we that strapped for time? I don't think so. You know, you played like 500 WWE promo videos through the show. Maybe drop a couple so the ring announcer can say the hometown and the weight of each person. Dragunov's physicality and stiffness makes him seem like a much bigger man. McDonough's psychology on the outside of the ring, picking his spots. I liked it. Obviously, McDonagh is the heel in this match, and I thought he did a good job. Great spot with Dragunov going coast to coast. They're just up in the ante, slowly but surely, as the match wears on. Dragunov and Bron Breakker fighting with one another, just punching each other in the head at war. And they both knock each other down. And there's JD McDonagh. He starts clapping. He's applauding it. He's loving it. And he's clapping them, beating each other up. And then when they realize that they got to fuck this guy up, that was a great, great spot. And then following that, that ended with, McDonagh spilling to the outside, being chased there by Ilja, came back in the ring, ducked a line, off the ropes, high, back body drop from Bron Breakker. That was a hot spot right there. Can't deny it, bro. Bron Breakker is the future of this business. Get this. I've got an exclusive for you. In NXT, Bron Breakker has only had 48 matches. In his career in pro wrestling, this guy's only had 49 matches. He had one match before he got signed. Are you kidding me? This guy's already this good, and he hasn't even had the reps of having 300 to 500 matches. Only 49 matches in his career, and he's this good? Man, what's he going to be like in 3, 4, 5 years? This dude's the future. I don't care. Great spot with the headbutt to Bron from JD as he had Ilja picked up for a press land, just came in with his head. It was pretty cool. And man, okay, these guys just blew me away with these sequences afterward. Frankensteiner off the top rope into a power bomb on the way down, a sit-out power bomb by Ilja Dragunov onto JD. I've never seen that. I thought that was very, very cool. And there was just some great suspense. You know, Bron gets pinned by Ilja. Bron kicks out as Ilja gets thrown off. Boom, 450 splash from Jade McDonah out of nowhere. I was like, shit, this is likely match of the year for NXT. Dragunov, so intense, always screaming. Got a pop for the big book there on commentary. You gotta be kidding me, man. He's great, man. The triple German suplex, that was when I decided this is the NXT match of the year. Out of every match I've seen, this is the best one. Great near fall after the Bulldog and power slam by Bron Breakker when McDonah stopped the referee's hand for the 3 count. 2. As he went for 3, McDonah had slid in and held his hand. Just, bro, that was great. Whoever came up with that, well done. There's 2 things in this match that I hadn't seen in that way before. So really cool. I just thought the match was nuts. You know, McDonah shoving the timekeeper over. Thank you. I love stuff like that. Then Dragunov and JD just kill themselves on the outside. And I thought Ilja's selling was fantastic after that jumping headbutt off the stairs into JD McDonah, grabbing his head like it really hurt. Well done, man. Soon after this, we get to our finish. Bron hits the spear on Ilja Dragunov, and it's over. And JD McDonah was on the ring apron, and you could just see with the selling, he just didn't have anything left in his system to stop it. So again, another title defense for Bron Breakker, and I'm thinking, who's going to beat him for the belt, man? You know, are they going to have Austin Theory cash in on him because he knows he'll never be able to cash in on Reigns or whatever? You know, is that possible? I don't know, but at some point, something else has to happen here for Bron Breakker. He's had a great run, but, you know, it's gone a while now. It's gone a while. He's been on top for a while. I want to see like a real formidable force come in there to work with him. You know, all well and good to have him with, you know, Tyler Bate and Dragunov and McDonah over the last few months, and obviously Ziggler a little bit before that and all that stuff, and Joe Gacy. But, you know, I want to see like a formidable force come in and really test this guy. Because, you know, he's wrestling all these guys who are a bit smaller than him. I want to see someone who kind of matches Bron Breakker power-wise. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my review show of NXT Halloween Havoc 2022. I would have to give this one a 7 out of 10. Wasn't amazing. Main event was awesome. Wasn't bad either, though. Every match was great, you know, but nothing really blew my mind too much for the undercard. I mean, there was some great moments here and there, but I got the investment in that main event. And of course, investment in anything that Toxic Attraction and Shotzi do. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm Karlifornia. This is the WZWA Network, and I'd like you all out there to check us out on Pro Wrestling Tees. Check this shit out, bro. Check this shit out. This is our shirt, the Where the Shit's Fucking At shirt. It is a ripoff of a shirt that I think the Filthy Animals had in WCW. We got a few other designs. We got an NWO logo as well, but it says WZWA Network. Some great stuff there. If we sell more, then we can put more designs up. But we've only sold like 5 or 6 shirts so far, maybe 7 or 8. It'll be nice if if anyone out there is a fan, could buy our shirts. And please, again, follow us on all social media. And of course, once again, still no one has done it. I dare one of you to do this. Go into your web browser, type in www.rizon.net. When you click on that and you press enter, it will give you an option of a make your own nickname and which channel that you want to go into. If you type in #pro wrestling, I'm in there, and a whole bunch of other great wrestling fans are in there that talk all things independent wrestling, AEW, WWE, all that good stuff. And of course, the old stuff as well. So there you have it, everyone. That's the review. I'm Karlifornia. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you down the freaking road. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.